Coming Down is proudly sponsored by Colorado Ganja Gear, high-quality, artistically inspired herb grinders. So let me tell you, these things are great. I actually own one. My favorite part is the perfect consistency you get after grinding. Some grinders just pulverize your herb into dust, but the razor-sharp teeth and smooth action on these always leave you with perfect, fluffy, evenly ground herb. The craftsmanship is top-notch, made from aircraft-grade aluminum, to guarantee you won't get metal shavings mixed into your herb. But the best part, truly, is each grinder features original artwork created by Colorado artist Lori Beatty. She creates unique mandalas that are laser-etched into each magnetic lid. And each grinder comes in a silk bag and has free shipping. So just go to etsy.com/shop/Colorado Ganja Gear and enter the code Coming Down in all caps for $5 off, or go to the show notes for this episode and follow the link. Thanks and enjoy the episode.
Welcome to Coming Down. It is I, Matthew, and I'm joined by my co-host, Nathan.
Ooh!
That was fucking spooky.
Yeah, dude, we nailed it.
Welcome to our second annual Halloween Spooktacular.
Indeed, yeah, we have been doing this well over a year now.
Yeah.
And, it's Halloween time again, friends.
Woo!
However...
This is Devil's Night.
Yeah, so it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
we are recording this on Devil's Night. And, however, we don't have a Halloween story for you.
I mean, you're right.
No, I was even thinking about it earlier today. It's like, I don't actually have a ton of Halloween stories.
Fuck me neither, dude.
I've enjoyed Halloween many years, and, I've got a couple little anecdotes and stuff here and there,
Right.
but I've never had, like, a balls crazy Halloween that warrants a whole story here, so...
No, I mean, and also, how are we ever gonna top Shelby's fucking dead guy hanging from a tree story?
I know, right?
That's just the spookiest Halloween story ever.
Yep, for real.
That said, if you have a spooky Halloween story that's spookier than that one, please let us know, because we'd love to get you in here.
God, please. Seriously, yeah, I want all the haunted stories on here. I would
Right.
love to hear all of them, because I love that shit.
Absolutely. But yeah, so instead of a Halloween story, we have a different holiday story.
It's still a holiday story.
It's true.
It's a 4th of July story. How about that?
Yeah, 4th of July in October. It's fine.
Makes perfect sense. And it's definitely not because we don't have other episodes like backed up here.
Yeah, we absolutely weren't just banking this one until next year.
Yeah, but it's time to just roll this one out.
Yeah.
Because, we had been sitting on this one, and then we were like, oh shit, dude, it's going to still be like 6 more months before the next 4th of July.
Oh, give me a break. Yeah, there's no way we're going to fucking sit on this one for that long.
Yeah, totally. So this is a fun one. Just a couple little 4th of July anecdotes.
Yeah, I love this one. It's just real lighthearted, weird shit. It's
seriously.
fucking great.
Seriously, man. I don't have too much to talk about this week. Oh, I have one little tidbit. So,
What you got?
as we all know, Colorado decriminalized mushrooms, right? And we
Right.
talked about that.
Absolutely.
Well, Utah is about to join the fold.
What? The
They-
Mormons are doing shrooms?
No, they are getting rid of their 3-2 beer.
Oh, shit!
As of Halloween, they are no longer allowed to sell 3-2 beer. It has to be minimum 4%.
Oh, wow.
But as every article I read still says maximum 5%.
Wow. That's some slim margins, like between 4 and 5%
Yeah.
is like your window.
And listeners, correct me if I was not reading the articles correctly, but I read several today trying to like pin down like, oh, do they get to sell good beer? Can they buy like these, dank like 10% bombers and stuff? And it looks
Right.
like no,
God
they
damn it.
cannot. But it also looks like they are no longer selling 3-2 beer at all. And so...
God, that's weird because they had whole bottling facilities that sprang up just to serve that need.
Yeah, and apparently Budweiser is bringing Clydesdales up tomorrow, for a Halloween Death of 3-2 beer, like, Halloween extravaganza.
Whoa.
Because they finally get to, like, sell their beer at the 4% it was meant to be sold at.
Oh god,
which is fucking hilarious,
dude. Budweiser's new like marketing strategies are just fucking hysterical. Like now they're bragging about the fact that they brew their beer with rice.
Oh right, that was the Super Bowl thing last year.
Fucking incredible.
Oh man,
yeah, I'm just like, who in the fuck is in charge of your marketing department? Because this is dumb.
Oh,
no one wanted rice in their beer. There was no one was out there clamoring like, why in the fuck isn't there a good rice beer on the market? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, where's that at? Where's my demographic being served? You know?
People guzzling Budweiser were like, you know what? All this wheat,
yeah,
just really bumming me out.
It's bringing me down. It's making me bloat. You know.
Yeah. For real. So there's my little news tidbit. Utah's catching up.
Love it.
Next step, decriminalizing mushrooms.
Oh man, no, I finally checked in on like who all has weed now, and it's like a lot of people. Like tons of states at least have medical now.
Oh, I'm gonna quote this wrong, but I think we're at 11 states that are rec legal,
right.
And then
that is the number that I know.
Far more than that are medical as well. So.
I want to say it's in the 40s.
Like, yeah, something crazy. Yeah, there's a lot. So
and at least high 30s. I don't remember.
Yeah,
but
we're getting there.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, like federal government, made hemp and CBD legal. So, I mean, they're definitely seeing the money there is to be made off of cannabis.
They did, except there's still all these regulations about hemp that if they have a THC quantity over a certain amount, like they can't sell it as hemp. And so all these hemp farmers are just like, well, like my shit's a little high or whatever. And it's like they're having to scrap crops and stuff. And it's just like, it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
so,
well, I mean,
so shit's not worked out yet, you know?
Sure, but I feel like that kind of stuff, like, I mean, I don't know anything about these kinds of like adjustments to laws, but you would think that at some point there's going to be like a re-ratification where they can like adjust THC levels to being something more reasonable, you know.
And surely people are working on it, and thus is, the slow churn of government, right? Like, all right, like something good happened, and now all these other little tidbits need to be worked out that are fucking everything up. But
it's like Oregon dispensaries before rec went fucking bananas, like I don't know if you remember going into the pot shop like back when it was just med, but like maybe you didn't, but like fucking you had to jump through a lot of hoops. And then when they switched to like that it was meant to be provisional at first, like they didn't want the medical dispensaries to be rec outlets. They wanted there to be recreational weed stores so that patients would have their like medical dispensary. And very quickly, everyone realized how bad of an idea that was. And so, like, slowly you had all of these restrictions being lifted, but it was like 1 week you'd go in and you didn't have to jump through any hoops. And then the next week it's like, oh, no, the hoops are back. Like, weird. But now it's like, fuck it. Like, just go buy your goddamn weed. Like, and that was the other thing is you could only get like 2 grams of concentrate or like something small like that. Now it's like 5. And I mean, good luck blowing through 5 grams of fucking dabs in a day. Like, if you're doing that, I mean, first of all, more power to you. But also, you're not really getting very high because, like, your tolerance is through the goddamn roof.
For real, dude.
And that was one thing that I never realized back in the days. Because, I mean, when you're just smoking weed, like, when are you ever going to fill up your THC receptors, But, like, dude, there's a limit. And if you have a high tolerance, you just don't get that high, like your receptors are full and it's getting you about as buzzed as you're gonna get.
Yeah, and you can only smoke so much flower regardless.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I mean, oh man.
But I used to think you'd be able to like smoke yourself insane with dabs, like because you've done way too much edibles before, right? And that's
dude.
a fucking bad trip sometimes.
Yeah, I don't fuck with edibles
and
at
so
all.
I assumed the same was true for concentrates. Like you could just shoot the moon with this stuff, but like there's just something about the way that edibles work that like it's the only way to really trip balls off of some weed. You know?
And that makes sense, actually. Yeah, I mean, as someone who's just smoked and smoked and smoked until you just can't move anymore.
Yeah.
And I've never been as high and freaked out as I was, even when I ate just like a quarter of a cookie once. And oh yeah, Ricky and I ate, like, we split like a chunk of a cookie. I mean, we didn't even split a whole one. I think we just took like 2 little chunks and watched Nakoi Katsi. And dude, it was gnarly. It was so gnarly.
If I may just add to how gnarly it was.
Please do.
I remember having to pace around our house at like 2 a.m. because it was too late to go outside like around our house.
Oh, no.
But I needed to like walk. So I just like went in circles around our house for like maybe an hour, like kind of while we like.
Well, and I was just laying in bed after the movie too. I was just laying in bed with my eyes closed, and I was like, I just need to pass out because I'm fucking freaking out.
I remember telling you that I couldn't turn the lights off for us to go to bed.
Yeah.
Because like and it wasn't like a fear thing. It was like the visuals got, even like behind my eyelids, the visuals got too intense if the lights were off. I was like, sorry, buddy. Like,
well, and also
sleeping with the lights on tonight. And by sleeping, I mean I'm gonna like lay here with my eyes open for a minute.
Well, there was also that intense paranoia that people have described before, where it's like, I'm laying there and I'm just so incredibly high, and I was like, everything's telling me that I'm gonna die.
Right.
And it's like, I know I'm not. I know I'm fine. I know I'm just too high.
Right.
But all these other parts of my body are like, dude, you're dying. You're dying right now. Like, this isn't good. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Oh, dude, it was just so crazy, man.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, so I'm out on that shit.
Oh, fair. Like, the last time I OD'd on edibles, like, I did, like, tried to determine scientifically what it was that was making me feel so fucked. And, like, after a long time of sitting there under very bright lights alone, I realized that it was because I had a body high that was about 3 feet thick and so fucking intense that it was making me panic, you know? Like, it was just this fucking body high that I couldn't do anything about. And also it was like making my limbs limp and like making it so I couldn't like bear weight on my legs very well. I don't know. It was like this whole like coordination thing too. And,
well, right. And like when you get way too high on edibles, like you get, it's truly like people talk about like the paranoia thing, man. I'm just like paranoid about everything, and I'm just like freaking out. You know, I'm freaking out, man. Yeah. Just like, oh.
And the anxiety, dude.
Yeah, and it's like real anxiety. So yeah, I've been out on edibles. I mean, like I'll do the tiniest little gummies, dude. And I mean, like I even went and saw Radiohead a couple years ago and did like a couple little gummies. I don't remember the quantity, but it was very small, and I felt like I was tripping that whole show.
Damn,
it was like
just
20
like
milligrams. Max.
That's a decent amount. You know, like squibs are 50, and they say to cut those into 10 pieces. So
okay, yeah, I think these were small. I think they were 5 or 10s. And I ate 2, but I was just like, oh, I couldn't fucking move during Radiohead. I was glued to my seat and was just like, oh, what are they doing to me?
Yeah, dude, I'll eat a 50 milligram squib, just like munch it down.
Damn.
And like, I don't have to dab the rest of the day, you know? Like, it's not so much that I'm like, whoa, Jesus. It's just that I'm high enough that I forget that I would even want to do that.
Yeah, you know? Right?
I'm right in the pocket, you know?
God, what a world, man. What a world where THC is just so strong.
Oh, God.
Like,
yeah.
Well, anyhow.
Shit's legit, dude.
Yeah, you want to get fucking spooked out for Halloween, man?
Yeah, right.
Eat a fucking heavy dose cookie.
Well, and that's what I did. Fucking, like, the last really fucked up edibles experience I had, it was me and my roommate, Aurelia. Like, she's like, hey, buddy, you want to watch a fucking Halloween movie? And I'm like, yeah, let's watch a fucking spooky movie. She's like, what do you want to watch? And I'm like, well, I downloaded 28 Weeks Later. Like, is that one any good? She's like, well, it's no 28 Days Later, but
it isn't, but it's
like,
pretty
good.
You're gonna
love the first act. And I'm like,
yeah,
cool. And like, sure enough, the first like 15 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever that movie is, like, I want to see that movie. Like, That is very compelling to me.
Yeah, that whole movie wasn't great, and it actually kind of pulled it together in the end again. But yeah, that first 5-10 minutes of that movie was
spectacular.
Damn.
Yeah, and I mean, so like I definitely got pulled in, but then like shit started kicking in, and like it was really cold, and I couldn't move, and anyway, I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
Halloween. It's Halloween. Fucking what you should do if you want to have the same experience that we did is eat way too many edibles and watch a spooky movie.
Seriously.
You will get scared on Halloween.
And hey, you know, I'm a horror movie aficionado. I consider myself that now. So if anyone needs horror movie recommendations, just tell me what kind of thing you're into, and I will tell you. I've got tons of good horror flicks in my wheelhouse. So, dude, Ricky and I went to a haunted house last night.
Oh, yeah?
And I haven't been to one since I was a kid. This one was legit, dude. So it was a 3-house thing. You know, you paid your $15 or $20, and it was like a Victorian house, and then a clown house, and
Jesus.
then like a quarantined hospital house.
Oh, spooky,
dude! It was pretty fucking good. I mean, the props and the like setup, it was all fine. Like they had some good props. It was mostly just like a maze, like a lot of walls, and like they'd splattered them with blood and lights and stuff. But the actors were phenomenal, man. They were terrifying, and they would jump out of corner like. Because you walk through this maze and you'd see these black curtains, and it's like, well, that's where someone's going to jump out of. And then so you'd be watching that, and then someone would be right around a corner, or like right behind a little thing. And like they were just getting you on every turn, man. And that's
that's good.
Through the whole thing, I was like, okay, I finally know how to predict this. Oh, God damn it. Like they get me. Like, oh, man, I was... Nice. It fucking freaked the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah.
It was really good.
Do you want to plug it? Do you remember the name?
Yeah, it was called Underhill. Yeah, I mean, like, literally, you'll have to go tonight when this airs. I don't think they even run past Halloween.
Oh, right, because this is going to air literally...
This will air on Halloween, which is right. Why didn't we have a Halloween story? Anyway,
and we do. It's about 4th of July.
Yeah, totally. It's crazy. But yeah, they'll probably do it again next year. It's called Underhill. It's in Portland. It's really good. Like for the $20 or whatever, it was pretty fucking legit, and the actors were so good. There was one point, so we're going through the I want to say it was still the Victorian house. And God, there were some freaky people in there.
That's some good shit, yeah.
But we walked through this room, and everything looked good. We didn't see a black curtain. Everything looked good. And then someone did the classic horror movie crawl out from under a bed with like their twisty limbs. Like they came out like crab walkie, and were like twisting their limbs around and like doing noises and shit.
Rad.
I mean, that one fucking terrified me. There were a few other ones. The clowns, I didn't think the clowns would scare me, but they actually did. It was freaky, and the actors were good. They'd get right in your face and just like really fuck with you and freak you out and
Excellent.
stuff. Yeah, just to the point where it's like, dude, like, well, and what I realized too is like they would get in your face and fuck with you a lot just to hustle you along,
right?
Because like, I gotta get out of here, and like that's all in an effort to just move people through the horror house.
Smart.
So it's like, yeah, they were really fucking with you a lot. And Ricky was like clutching me and more scared, so they were fucking with her more.
Oh God.
Yeah, so
brutal.
Yeah, but it was legit, man, and the hospital one was really good, and I knew that was going to be the one that freaked me out the most, because it was like zombie shit, and they had like kind of like strobe light stuff, and they were blaring kind of like an announcement, like a quarantine announcement thing, and like they did a good job with it. They really did. It was like, this is freaky, man.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, shout out to that. I haven't done a horror or a haunted house in a long time, and I mean, short of Lion's Eye's haunted house, which also,
that's the caveat.
Also shout out to Lion's Eye. If anyone lives in Portland, Lion's Eye out on 82nd, they just build a tiny little haunted house on their patio. It's like a 30-second walkthrough, but like they do a lot with a little, and it's fucking cool for just a local bar to just build a little haunted house. It's so cool, man. We go every year. We're going tomorrow, so
nice. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so if any listeners hear this tomorrow, we'll be there tomorrow.
Lion's Eye tomorrow.
Yep.
Make it happen. Well, I guess today.
Or today.
Yeah.
Yeah, today.
Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween. On
Lion's
Halloween.
Eye. Make it happen.
All right, man. Let's do this. We got some other stuff to record tonight.
Let's do some housekeeping. So, if you like what you're hearing and you want to help us do more, like go to patreon.com/comingdownpod. Donations start at $1 a month, and you get access to all of our exclusive content, plus some merch. Like there's a lot of swag that is available there. So please head over there and check it out. If you don't want to be bothered with typing that in, you can just go to comingdownpod.com, and we've got links there to our Patreon, as well as all the platforms. And we've got show notes for any episodes that we actually have show notes for. So.
Oh, yeah. We should dig up one for this episode, too, because there's got to be one, right?
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, hopefully we'll have some show notes for this one.
Yeah, totally.
So comingdownpod.com, that's got links to everything. If you're listening to this, you already know our platforms, but if you want to give us a rate and review on Stitcher, that would be really cool, just to help us get some visibility. And if you would like to be on the show, hit us up on Twitter at comingdownpod. Or just email us, comingdownpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from anybody who wants to be on the show, and we'd also just love to know what you think. So
absolutely,
hit us up.
Hell yeah.
And without further ado,
let's go!
This is another 4th of July story.
Oh, good.
But this one happened a long time ago, and it was in Bend. It was when I was growing up, and the thing about Bend on 4th of July is, it's like every other place in Oregon where we don't have any fucking good fireworks at any of the stands. I mean, it was the 80s, so like the fireworks were better. But it was still like fucking tanks and snakes and fucking ground bloom flowers, and they had good sparklers back then. But like
the actual like metal rod ones instead of these little like chintzy wooden ones now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They had the good sparklers back then, and I think you could still get bottle rockets and firecrackers, but like they weren't big at all.
Like black hats and stuff.
Yeah,
you can't even get black hats anymore, can you?
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't get bottle rockets anymore in Oregon either.
Yeah, totally.
But you could get small bottle rockets and you could get black cats.
Yeah.
And I think that was pretty much the major difference.
Yeah.
But back then, like you could still go to Warm Springs, the Indian reservation, and get like Roman candles and mortars and like whatever the fuck you wanted. Now you got to go to Washington for that shit.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal for us here.
No,
but yeah. So in Bend, every year on 4th of July, there is a professional fireworks company. There might even be more than one. Like just basically all the professional fireworks people in Bend go up on top of this butte that's in the middle of town called Pilot Butte, and forget exactly how tall it is. It's easily a few hundred feet, probably close to 1,000 feet, I'm guessing.
Okay, so bigger than like Mount Tabor.
Yeah.
Or maybe.
Ish. It's maybe about the same size. It's hard to tell because Tabor has so many trees.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Pilot Butte is just a cinder cone with some juniper and sage growing on it.
Oh, okay.
Some bunch grass. It's basically a hill covered in red rocks. And it would have a lot more vegetation, but they do a fireworks show up there every year, and it almost always catches on fire.
I would imagine it does. Now, right, because it's all just brush and stuff and grass and stuff.
It's high desert, man.
But I guess if it's at the top of the butte, then it's controllable.
Well, I mean, reasonably, yeah. Most of the time, they've usually got fire trucks already up there. So if there's any little spot fires that start up, they can douse them.
Now, can you see? So do they do it because you can basically see the works from kind of anywhere in town?
Right. It's on the east side, so if you're on the west side, like you kind of got to get out into an open area to see everything. But
sure.
It's such a high elevation that the works go pretty fucking high up.
Yeah.
It's not like here where they're launching them from the riverside.
Now, how close can you get, though?
You can't actually get onto the mountain.
Okay.
Like, you have to be at the base of it or further away. And, like, getting to the base of it is tough for most of it because there's a big road that runs around, like, 40 or 50%.
So where's, like, the big viewing area?
Just wherever. Like, people gather in the park a lot.
Okay.
Drake Park. There's also, like, I would imagine people hang out in, like, the Costco parking lot, and, like, so there's a bunch of box stores around the base of Pilot Butte.
Interesting.
So people hang out there.
Huh. So you guys don't have, like, a big reservoir or lake that you launch them over?
Nah.
There's, like,
just launch them off a mountain
right
so
off the top of this thing.
Can see them, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
And if you live in the West Hills, it looks fucking dope because you're looking across town and there's all these fucking fireworks erupting off of the mountain that's right across there. You know?
Yeah, I'm just curious how close you can get to the explosions, because, I mean, that was always my favorite thing as a kid, was, like, they'd do them over the City Park Lake in my hometown.
Sure.
And you could get right up to the shore of that lake if you got there early, and, like, those things would rattle your bones, man. Like, that thing would go off, and you'd feel it fly right through your chest, man. Like,
I mean, I guess that's kind of the attraction to doing them on the riverside here in Portland.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, Drake Park isn't that far from Pilot Butte. I mean, it's probably a mile or two, but...
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
Mirror Pond is in Drake Park, so I mean, like, you can hang out at the riverside and see the fireworks reflected in the water and stuff.
I mean, I still think that's a cool way to do it for sure, just so everyone in town can get a view. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and so interestingly enough, there is a cemetery at the base of Pilot Butte, and my buddy Doug, who I believe I've mentioned before a few times, his dad is in a motorcycle club with the guy who owns the cemetery, and they're like really good buds.
Whoa.
And he took over the cemetery from his dad, and when he did, he painted all the hearses silver.
Whoa.
That's the kind of dude this guy is.
What a... Okay, now I'm just laughing. Like, a motorcycle club that owns a cemetery, like...
No, the motorcycle club, I'm sorry, it's an off-road motorcycle club, like a dirt bike club.
I see.
Sorry.
Not some,
like an ATV club.
Not some Sons of Anarchy.
Fuck no.
Okay.
No, like, and it's mostly ATVs. Like, there's some dirt bikes, too, but, like, it's mostly old dudes on four-wheelers.
I see, okay. Yeah, so, yeah, like these off-road motorbiking dudes. Yeah, okay.
They go out in the woods, they go to the beach,
cool.
Sand dunes, that kind of thing.
That sounds great.
Yeah, I've ridden four-wheelers with Doug's family, and it's fucking awesome.
Yes. Dude, ATVs are one of the funnest things ever.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I got to ride 4 or 3-wheelers. I can't remember what one of my relatives in
Hopefully
Texas
it was 4-wheelers, because 3-wheelers are dangerous.
Yeah, I don't remember. And I was pretty little, but I definitely got to romp around on them, like, a little bit, so...
You can really munch up your legs on a 3-wheeler.
Yeah, I imagine yeah. And, again, I was little, so I was on the back, but it was fun.
Fair. Yeah, 4-wheelers are fun. So, yeah, Doug's dad knew the guy who owned the cemetery, so, I think I've mentioned Doug's VW bus, like...
Yeah.
We used to tear around in that thing. We used to even go off-road with it because we were idiots.
Yep.
And, we'd fucking take it out caving and shit, like...
Yep.
It was, I mean, so we roughed it up a bit, but, this 1 4th of July, we're trolling around in the bus, and, the plan is to go to the cemetery, and we pick up a bunch of folks, like, I forget who Doug was dating at the time, but we picked up his girlfriend and my girlfriend, and, like, I think his sister and, like, a couple other people. And, and I should mention, this fucking cemetery was sweet. Like, we used to go smoke weed in there because, like, Doug knew that if, like, anybody called anybody about, like, the van being parked down there, the guy would just be like, oh, that's Doug. And he wouldn't give a shit.
Nice. Hell yeah.
So we would just go smoke weed in the cemetery.
It was like it was safer than the park or like other locations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know,
like,
like nobody's gonna fuck with us down here. You know, like we just fucking hotboxed the van because again we were idiots. But, you know, yeah. And so this one night we're driving through the cemetery and like we're super ripped. I think we might have even been like still slightly tripping from some adventure we'd been on.
Yeah.
And Doug was like, "Oh, check this out!" And he turns on his headlights. I forget if it was the high beams or the low beams, but like. The way that the puddles were in that cemetery with the trees arcing over the road, it did this trippy shit where it made like all these crazy light reflections off the water that looked like fucking ghosts.
Oh, dude.
It was awesome.
So it was like the trees reflecting into the puddles?
Well, no, it was the headlights reflecting off the puddles onto the trees. And because the van was moving and the light source was moving, it made the reflections move across the trees.
Whoa.
And so it looked like these weird fucking light ghosts, like, zipping around and stuff.
Whoa.
I mean... And Doug, and like, you know, granted I was high, but like Doug was like, "Look, check this out!" Like, so it was an effect.
Like he's done it before, yeah.
And I was like, that's fucking weird. It was awesome. And
that's
so, like,
awesome.
You know, we already have like some fucking memories in this cemetery, and like now we're gonna go fucking eat some mushrooms and hang out in the cemetery for the 4th.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, so we get out there, and I forget exactly when we ate the mushrooms. I think we parked the bus, like, well before sunset, and just, like, chowed down, and we're just kind of tripping around in the fucking cemetery for a while, you know? Because that's fun. I don't know if you've ever tripped in a cemetery, but it's...
We have walked through a cemetery. I've never really hung out in one. It always felt, like... uncouth, you know, just like shit. I don't know, man, like I don't know if we want to do this and stuff, but
I don't know if it's my just little tiny goth streak or what, but like I've definitely hung out in some cemeteries.
Yeah, like,
drinking wine, smoking weed, what have you.
You know, and it makes sense. I mean, we had a big one right next to City Park, and I mean between City Park, like the baseball fields, the cemetery, and everything, like you had a pretty good range of area to, and the golf course, so you had a pretty good range of area to just tromp around in, and probably were pretty safe from like cops fucking with you. But we always avoided the cemetery. Just like, man, I don't know. And I'm not like, today I probably would. When I was a teenager, it was like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just they're always so lush and well kept.
I know, right?
Like,
yeah,
it's always so quiet.
It makes perfect sense now.
There's rarely people there, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like it's ideal for someone whose head is in a strange place, you know.
Sure.
So, I don't know. Spent a lot of time in cemeteries. Also, like,
but a lot of facing mortality and stuff. That just seems like.
I mean, sure, but like also some rad fucking like, especially in the one that's over on Stark. There's this whole Russian section.
Whoa.
And they put like photographs
Whoa.
on their fucking monoliths, and like they usually have a monolith. Like families will pay for like this big fucking spire, you know, and like there's old shit, like old I don't know if they're daguerreotypes or what, but like ancient fucking photographs that have been burned onto metal, you know, and like pressed onto this fucking stone.
Whoa.
It's some cool shit, man. Like,
okay.
There's some trippy stuff in the fucking cemetery.
Dude, I imagine there is. Yeah, and I guess I kind of regret not fucking around with it, but yeah.
I don't know. Again, you know, like, who knows if has anything to do with the fucking music I listened to in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, definitely enjoy my time in a cemetery. But, yeah, we tripped around for a little while, and, like, you know, just waiting for the mushrooms to come on and, like, the sun to go down and fireworks to start. And, you know, eventually the fireworks start going off. And, you know, we're, like, smoking weed and sitting on the grass and just, like, watching. It's fucking cool because we're high on mushrooms and there's all these extra fucking effects going on with all the different, like, tiny blobs and stuff coming off the fireworks. And, you know, eventually we start to see this orange glow coming off the butte. And I'm like, dude, does the butte have an aura? What is that? Doug's like, whoa, man, I don't know. That's fucking cool, though. And I'm like, yeah, wow. It's almost like the sun's rising behind it or something. And we look at each other. Oh, and I should mention that, like, usually if I'm not hallucinating, like, I'm, like, cheering them on, trying to get them to start a fire, you know? I'm like, light the butte, burn it down, let's go, you know? Like, but this year I was just kind of calmly watching the fireworks and, like, wasn't, you know, trying to summon forth the fires of hell.
Right. And, you weren't egging on disaster.
No. So at first it didn't occur to me what that orange glow could possibly be. Until we kind of see some little tongues of flame licking up from behind the butte. And I'm like, Jesus, dude, that's got to be a big fire, right? And he's like, yeah. Holy shit. And, like, then we see the fire trucks coming down the hill.
Oh, shit.
Because they'd gotten too fucking hairball up there for them, and they were just trying to get the fuck out of there.
Now, so the fireworks show was over at this point.
Well...
Or they cut it off.
Well, yeah, I mean, they attempted to.
Okay. Oh, shit.
I think it kind of became a every man for himself kind of a situation at a certain point. And, you know, a lot of that stuff is automated, so if, like, you don't turn it off, I don't know. I mean, and maybe, like, the fire just got to it. Who knows? But, like, there didn't seem to be a huge gap in the fireworks, like, once the fire got crazy. Like, it was still kind of going at a maybe slightly slower pace, but there was still shit going off. And then we see the fire trucks coming down, and we're just like, oh, shit. They must be getting the fuck out of there. And then it just fucking cuts loose, dude. Like, fucking, like, just... Stuff's, like, blowing up on the ground, like, multiple things are going up in the air and exploding at once, like,
whoa.
Just the maximum amount of exploding shit per square inch in the air that I could possibly fucking fathom. I'm just like, holy fucking shit! You know?
Damn, and some people are like, what a finale!
Oh my fucking god, like, yeah, I mean... I don't know how much of the show got cut off and then, like, exploded all at once, but it was a lot. Like, I don't think that they were that close to the finale, you know?
Yeah.
It was just a ton of shit. And, like, I'm pretty sure everybody got out of there okay. I don't remember hearing about any injuries or deaths.
Yeah, I'm sure they had protocol, and it was like, okay, if these things happen, like, that's when it's time to book it.
But I'm pretty sure some dudes were, like, actually just sprinting down the mountain in some places,
Shit.
you know? Because the roads got fucking cut off. Like, the fire was jumping the roads. So I heard from some of the, like, from one of the firemen that, like, some of those trucks had to just drive through the flames to get the fuck out of there. Because they were like, well, either I stay up here where there's, like, thousands of fucking pounds of explosives, or drive a fire truck through a forest fire.
Yeah.
I think I know what I'm doing.
Damn.
Yep.
Holy shit. So, do you know what started it? Like, did just some loose sparks hit the ground?
So, yeah, I think what happened is there was a misfire. Like, something went off too low to the ground, and some of the discharge from the fireworks, like, hit some dry brush, and they hadn't done any preemptive brush clearing or like a controlled burn or anything that year.
Oh, wow.
Which I think is something they just do regularly now. Like, you know, they'll just burn the grass or like cut back the brush or whatever they got to do to make sure that there's like fire breaks in like concentric circles going down the hill.
Yeah.
Which, you know, they still catch it on fire every fucking year. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But this was like one of the only catastrophes that I can remember, and definitely the biggest one.
But it lit like the whole butte on fire?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Holy shit.
Well, and it got to the point where we were seeing it come around the base on the backside.
Whoa.
We were like doing the math like for the exit of the cemetery, and we were like, oh, it might even come over here. Because there were trees that were like right across the road from the butte, and we're like, we don't really want to be in the cemetery when it's on fire with a head full of mushrooms.
Yeah, seriously.
And so, like the explosions were all done, like everything was just burning, and we're like, let's get the fuck out of here. And Doug makes the decision to take the exit out of the cemetery that's right next to the fucking butte. And I'm like, where? No, dude, where are you going? And then, like, before we even had a chance to, like, think about it too much, there we are, right where the police are directing traffic.
Shit.
And, like, the cop gets, like, all up in the window, and he's like, where did you just come from? And it's like, I was trying to, I thought maybe I could get through down there, and it says cemetery. He's like, yeah, that's not public property. And it's like,
shit.
Fuck! And he's like, what should I do? And he's like, just go over there and, like, get out of here. And I'm like,
yeah.
So he stops traffic, and Doug pulls out, and, like, we fucking take off past the not burning side of the butte. Like, probably the only, like, third of the butte that isn't burning is, like, right where the road was there. And
whoa.
We got the fuck out.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. It was intense, man.
Was it so? It was like a big town thing. Like everyone knew. It's like, oh, we burnt the butte down this year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm sure there's somebody somewhere who has like a fucking, a calendar, like a yearly calendar with just like fucking X for every year that the fucking butte caught on fire.
Yeah.
That one's got an exclamation point on it.
Yeah, for real. Damn, there's definitely got to be some newspaper clippings and stuff for this.
Oh, I'm sure. And I want to say it was my senior year in high school, so like that would be like shit. I'm not sure if it was 95 or 96, but it had to be 96 because I was grounded in 95. There we go.
Yep, that's right.
So yeah, summer of 96, big butte fire.
Damn, hell yeah. Oh man, so I think I only tripped twice on 4th of July, and yeah, there was this one year, and I think I already told the other one when we just went up to the foothills and watched it from the distance, and like just rolled around like the trails and then all the foothills and stuff. But there was this one year that we decided that we were gonna take. I can't remember what we took. I think we took mushrooms, but that we were just going to actually go down into the shit. Because, again, like, there's this tiny little lake in City Park, and it's, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to compare it to. It's very small, but they would just launch the works right over that. And, I mean, I remember, like, debris, like, falling into the crowd, like, multiple years, and...
yeah, it happens on the waterfront here in Portland, too.
Yeah, and, I mean, it's just a thing. It's fine, you deal with it, But yeah, and they always did a pretty good show when I was younger. I don't know what I haven't seen the works in Fort Collins in a long ass time, but yeah, when I was younger it was pretty good. But there's this one year that just like it was the weirdest fucking thing. So we go down there and we're tripping and we get like a pretty good spot. And dude, and tripping around like thousands of people isn't great, but thousands of squares with their family and shit, and you're just like, oh god, dude. But we just like
I don't mind if it's a dark room with a laser, but like
but like we did it. We carved out like a little spot. I think it was my buddy oh man, fuck dude, I'm trying to remember. I think Joe was with me on this one. I think my buddy Austin was with me on this one, and maybe A was with me. I don't remember though. Really don't. I wish I did, but I think it was like
they probably don't mind if you don't remember.
Yeah. Someone will correct me. And yeah, I think we were like 19 or 20. But and we're just gonna do this. Like it's gonna be uncomfortable, but it'll be worth it. Like once the work start, like we'll just get into it. And sure enough, we did. We went down there and we carved out a little spot. And yeah, like I said, they were going off so close to us. Like, dude, they're just like shaking our souls like right into our body,
dude. That fucking kick that you get in your chest is real.
Yeah, when they boom and just like whoa, dude, it's like thunder plus a light show, and just like damn, this is cool. And so we carved out a spot, watched the fireworks, and we're just like, well, that was fucking insane. And then like kind of right as it ended, we were like, we got to get the fuck out of here because it's gonna be like crowd mayhem, dude. And so we just like make a beeline out of the park and hit this road called Mulberry, and that's like the main road that kind of runs next to that lake. And we were like, let's just, I think we had a guitar with us, and we were like, let's just walk up to the foothills from here. Because from there, it was like maybe 4 miles or something. So we were like, we'll have a nice trip walk up to the foothills, and then we'll finish out our eve there, and then we'll like wander home or like figure it out from there. And so we do, and so we take off, and I don't understand how this happened, but we get to the intersection of Mulberry and Taft. So that is roughly 1.5 to 2 miles from City Park where the fireworks were going off.
Sure.
And we walked there, so it took, I don't know, 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever. We were tripping, so maybe trip walking, maybe 40 minutes, maybe. But we reached this intersection, and there are 3 cows just standing in the center of this intersection.
What?
Yeah. And
wait, is this is still in the city?
Yeah. And again, we're a couple miles from the big entertainment. So there should have been traffic, there should have been people everywhere, because there's thousands of people leaving from City Park going in all directions, right?
Right.
And I mean, this is Taft, so there's one more road and then the foothills, right? So I mean, we're about another mile and change from the foothills, but there are residences and things all around, like from there to there. So
what the fuck?
And so we get there, and we get to the corner, and we're all just like, "Do you guys see those cows? Those fucking cows in the fucking intersection?" And we're just like, "Yeah, dude." And then we just take a second and we look around, and there's no traffic anywhere. We look up and down Mulberry, we don't see any cars. We look up and down Taft, we don't see any cars. We're just like, dude, we haven't been gone that long. I think someone checked the time. It's like, yeah, dude, it's been like 40 minutes since like the fireworks ended, if even that. So there still should have been plenty of people just filtering out and like getting to where they gotta go.
Like,
and it's 4th of July.
It's an American tradition to drive drunk late at night on 4th of July.
Yeah, and so we're standing on this intersection and we're looking at these cows, and not only do we not see any traffic, but it is just like calm and serene. We're not hearing anyone, we're not hearing anything.
So you found the cow level.
Dude, seriously. And like, yeah, and we just are like, okay, well, those are some cows. And we kind of walk into the intersection. We didn't like touch them or get too close.
Well, yeah.
But we just
cows can be mean.
Wanted to make sure that they were really there, and they were. And we saw them just sort of like shuffling around. And then we just took off. We were like, okay, that happened.
We saw a cow.
3 cows.
3 cows.
And then we just kept on our way and went to the foothills and continued our trip. And like, I have no idea where those cows came from, why they were there. I mean, I'm guessing they got spooked out of a farm because of the fireworks. That would be my guess. And like, once you got to that edge of town, especially back in that day, there were some little farms around there. Like, you started kind of getting into like bigger, like ranchy style properties, like that edge of town. But they still would have had to come a ways, and they must have gotten out and probably got freaked out by the fireworks, and then were just standing in
like went down the road.
Yep, and then just stopped there. But what the weirdest thing was that there just wasn't anyone around. There was just nobody.
Maybe those were cows that had been abducted and like
just redropped.
Like when the fireworks hit, they were like, "Oh shit, we got to get out of here. Let's jettison this cargo." And
yeah,
those,
yeah, maybe they're like, they're attacking our ship.
They have to be in town at that point, so they just beamed them down right there.
Seriously, man, and like that's kind of what it felt like. It's like, where the fuck did these cows come from? So that was just a completely bizarre thing. The rest of the night was fantastic, and that was the funny thing. So we get up to the foothills, and and it's still like kind of mellow, and we're like, man, it feels like people just aren't partying on this holiday. Like, I don't know what's going on. We expected to hear
probably at the bar,
Yeah, we still expected to hear people and hear like personal fireworks going off, and there just wasn't for a minute.
Weird.
And so we hop onto this trail and start like wandering through the fields, like wandering up to the foothills, and at one point one of us like busts out the guitar and we start imagining ourselves as like medieval minstrels and just like
Fantastic.
strumming like chords and like skipping and like trying to make up songs like as we're like skipping through the fields and shit. And then we like finally get to a place that's kind of like up on the hills and we can see down on the city. And then sure enough, things kind of got back to normal. We saw like lots of fireworks just going off from houses and started hearing car noises and sirens and all the things you expect to hear on 4th of July, you know?
So you wandered into a pocket dimension populated only by cows.
Yeah.
You pretended you were minstrels.
Yep.
And then wandered out of the pocket dimension.
That's basically what it felt like. Yeah. I don't know what happened, and I don't know why there was no action on that intersection for the time that we were there. You know, and maybe as we were walking away, like there was a car in the distance or something, but...
No.
Yeah. But there should have just been full-on traffic. It was right next to the hub of what was going on in that city, man. Like...
Bizarro.
Super bizarro. So, no idea. So there's my silly little 4th of July story.
Can verify. I remember there was one 4th of July my family actually got a parking spot down kind of near like where everything was going down. It took us a solid 2 hours to get home.
Jesus.
And I mean, it takes what from Old Town to like South Fort Collins, or I mean, not even Old Town, City Park to like, you know,
in normal
like
traffic,
Taft.
it's 25-minute drive, I suppose. Yeah.
So there should have definitely still been traffic.
So much traffic.
Yeah.
So much though. Like everyone in town's worth.
I mean, the entire town goes there. The entire town.
So maybe that pocket dimension was the far side.
I know, right? Gary Larson's dimension. Yeah.
There's lots of cows in there.
Yeah, there are.
In strange places.
Yeah, man. And, dude, I didn't go back down to City Park. Well, because, yeah, and for a time, I actually got a house that was literally not on Mulberry, but it was one house behind a house on Mulberry across from the lake. And so I lived there for 2 years, and so we just got to have front row seats from our backyard.
Jesus.
Got to do that for a little bit. And then I didn't go back down to City Park for fireworks for a few years. And then the last time I did go, and the college had really grown at this point. I mean, things were much crazier. Because City Park is actually, like, right down by the college campus.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's like... I mean, it's basically right there. And we were all walking through just the hordes and hordes of people, and I can't remember where we were going to. I think back to our car, and we knew well enough to park a good ways away.
Right.
And we were walking through the hordes of people, and just like 2 giant mortars fucking just like got launched into the crowds and went off like right next to me. Or like, not right next to me, but like very close to me. And not just like the mortars you buy from like the Indian reservation or like the out of state, like full size mortars. Like the explosion was massive.
Oh my God.
And I'm sure people got hurt, and it turned into chaos. It turned into war zone, man. People started screaming and running, and we ran, and we were like, okay, yeah, like let's get the fuck out of here. We got to move with the crowd lest we get like trampled or whatever.
Right.
Like, yeah, we got to fucking go, dude. But yeah, it felt like, dude, no disrespect to anyone who's been in war, but it's the closest thing I can imagine to what war is like, because it was just like explosions that rattled my fucking brain, and I'm like hearing, you know, I had like tinny noise in my ears because it was so close, and just people like crying and screaming and fucking going insane, dude.
Damn.
And that was the last time I ever went down to fucking City Park for fireworks.
So when you say the mortars were launched into the crowd, like, did they just... was the crowd gathered around the place where the fireworks were launching from, or were these fireworks like on their sides and like fired into the crowd?
I don't know. So if I could paint a word picture for the listener at home, I'm crossing an intersection, and there are just hordes of people, right? I mean, we're just packed to the gills, like hordes of people, and from behind me at a downward trajectory from upward, so it's as if it were being launched from the top of a apartment building, maybe, or from out a window of an apartment building. And I just hear the and then fucking boom, and then boom, and they were like, yeah, probably like 30-40 feet from me.
That's fucked
But like
up.
they went right into a crowd of people, dude. Like people had to have been hurt for sure.
That's like a terrorist act right there.
It was
Jesus.
crazy, dude. Yeah, I don't know like what came of it, where they came from. I don't know how they got their hands on like full-sized works. Like these weren't like the little mortars you can get, you know. They were like the big boys.
Jesus.
Yeah, because I remember seeing just like giant explosion and shower of sparks everywhere, and just like, yeah, and people freaked. It was crazy, man.
Glad you're okay. That's
yeah, totally. And I mean, this like, no. And so like that actually was the beginning, and we've talked about before of like these fucking amateur hour party holidays, dude. It's like, I love 4th of July. I love New Year's, you know. Well, I guess I'll leave it there. I was gonna say St. Patty's, but I haven't fucking given a shit about St. Patty's in a long ass time.
I even have some Irish ancestors, and it's whatever.
It is whatever. But yeah, the party holidays, man, it's fucking amateur hour out there, dude. It's so sketch. Just like people do the dumbest fucking shit on these holidays.
Yep.
And I still like to celebrate them on my own. Like, you know, we had a good time this last one. Just like partied in my driveway. It was chill.
First time I've had a good time on 4th of July in a long time.
Yeah. So, but it's like, ever since then, I've been more or less done with like trying to really go out to anywhere like populous. Like, we've gone to Mount Tabor for 4th of July a couple times, and even that like gets a little weird. You want to keep your wits about you while you're hanging out there, because like there's just so many people. Like, you don't know.
Rugged,
yeah,
you know.
But yeah, man, just like, dude, I can't deal with the crazies, dude, and like the shit that can go down in these big crowds of drunk ass idiots.
This town's weird enough when it's not a drinking holiday and I'm not also drunk, you know? Like,
yeah. Well, and that's my thing too. I don't want to be out in these crowds drunk myself, because like I want to have an exit strategy if shit gets weird, you know?
Right.
So yeah. So anyhow, yeah. But 4th of July is still rad.
Oh yeah,
you can have some fun with it.
Hey man, I'll barbecue the shit out of some fucking 4th of July.
Well, yeah.